Going back to our black and white motif, right now, there was a film released in the 50s that was released by Universal. And that film basically became the only 50s film to have a classic monster inducted into the Universal Classic Monsters library, so to speak. And that film was The Creature from the Black Lagoon, a film that, despite efforts to remake it, it had never been done because there was no reason to remake what is a complete classic. This was probably the greatest monster movie of the 50s. And I only saw it because I picked it up on, the Castle, their 8mm films where you got, 8 minutes of highlights. And one afternoon, while checking out a matinee at the Embassy Theater, they had the intermission, and the coming attractions were The Creature from the Black Lagoon and Revenge of the Creature. And I was like, holy shit, there is no way I'm not going to be here next weekend. So I was fortunate enough to get to see The Creature from the Black Lagoon and the sequel, Revenge of the Creature, on the big panoramic screen. And I'm not going to go over the plot of this. They find, the prehistoric creature living in the Black Lagoon in the Amazon, and they try to capture it, and it has this love interest with Julie Adams. And, the underwater scenes, they had two creatures. One was Riku Browning. One was my old smoking buddy, Ben Chapman, who was a barrel of laughs to hang out with. Unfortunately, both these gentlemen are gone now. But, yeah, that film was classic, and they shot the shit out of the creature at the end, and he sunk to the bottom, and that was supposed to be it. Well, for whatever reason, he survived that and was resurrected in the sequel, Revenge of the Creature, where they actually capture him and bring him back to civilization. And there, the love interest is Laurie Nelson. And, they put him in an aquarium, he's an attraction, then he escapes, he turns cars over, he runs into the ocean, he captures Laurie, yada yada. And it's the identical ending of the first one where he's shot and you see him sink to the bottom. Well, they had to go for a third one, which I feel is the weakest in the series, The Creature Walks Among Us, where they capture him, they do surgery on him, and they make him a land creature. Well, that whole thing didn't work for me, and I think the creature at that point was played by Don McGowan, a big dude. And, of course, he breaks out of his confinement, wrecks a bunch of shit, and is shot a few times, and is sadly looking at the sea. And you see like bullet holes in him and stuff like that, and he trudges down to the sea, obviously, to drown. Sad ending for, a great series. The third one should have been done better. Something else should have been done. But anyway, like I said, this is the one film where a remake was supposedly planned by John Carpenter, but it never happened. And to be honest with you, it doesn't need to be remade. The film's a fucking classic the way it is, so why fuck with it? And, the second film was also good. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of the third film, but that's just me. So, yeah, it's, I think they just released this on a Blu-ray. I think all the classic monsters in that are in a Blu-ray set released by Universal. And definitely worth picking up because, like I said, it's a great film. It's a fantastic film. It's beautifully shot, beautifully acted, and it has, all the character actors of that era, Nestor Pavia, Whit Bissell, Richard Denning, and others. So, yeah, definitely worth checking out. So, that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Above all, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.